Hey, I'm Paula. This is How to Make Dinner. Today we're making stuffed peppers with feta, cheese, and egg. And they're super delightful, and I hope you'll stay with me. Okay, so stuffed peppers. This is a Bulgarian style recipe, and it was introduced to me by my love, who's behind the camera right now. And they just basically kick ass. Like, I don't know why. I always thought of stuffed peppers as being like stuffed with rice and lamb and meat, but this is basically a quiche in a pepper. So it's really nice. So I'm just taking 5 eggs, and I've got 140 grams of feta, which looks like about that amount. It's not that important if you have, slightly the wrong amount. It's basically a cup if you were to press it into a cup. And this is a really soft, milky this is the Bulgarian style feta cheese that I've grown to be very fond of recently. You can use whatever feta you like, but try and steer clear from those really firm ones. Like, basically, if you could grate it on a grater and if it holds its shape, it's too firm to be feta, I think. So the feta and the eggs are in a measuring jug. This just makes it easier to pour later. I'm just going to kind of mash it together / whisk it together with this cool whisk. And I've got 3 red peppers that are laid out. I kind of cut them in half lengthways and gutted out the seeds from the inside, but left the stems on because I think they look nice. And then it's just a matter of rummaging around in your cupboards until you find a oven-safe dish that kind of fits all the peppers properly but keeps them propped up so that they're not rolling around. I was really happy to find this lid. This is a lid of a casserole dish that's just like begging to be filled with peppers. And I'm adding a little twist on the traditional one, which is just a big fat pile of fresh dill because I love it. And I know this isn't in any of the recipes that I saw, but it just makes a lot of sense to me that we would put fresh dill in. Look how much that is. Oof. I feel like a little bit of green is always welcome, and also it's just so damn good. It's so fresh. So that's going in. And then black pepper, which is here. So I'm not adding any salt because the feta that we added is really salty. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than sufficient. So at this point, we're just going to fill the peppers. And I might get a spoon because this is kind of a difficult mixture to deal with. No, it looks good. Just fill them kind of 3/4 full and hope that we have the right amount of filling for the amount of peppers. I think it's going to be about right. If you have a little bit of leftover, you can fill anything with this mixture and bake it. You could do a tomato. Might be a little bit juicy. Tomatoes might be a little juicy, but pretty much any... What else could you do? You could empty out a little, like a dinner roll. This would be a really nice breakfast thing if you had kind of hollowed out dinner rolls stuffed with this egg mixture. Yum. Or you could just scramble it up and just in a pan and eat it like that. That's totally fine. Okay, so I've got a little bit too much. So this I'm gonna do something with. I'm not sure. Actually, I'll put a tiny bit more in here. And that's about all that'll fit. So I'm gonna fire these into a 375-degree oven they're gonna take about 20 to 25 minutes until they're really nice and poofed up and, a little bit brown and not too jiggly. So here's what they look like. Just make a little bed with this tea towel. So they're all puffed up, a little bit brown, and the peppers themselves are really nice and soft. And now we can just grab one. And this is really nice to have with like a yogurty garlic sauce if you want, but they're also just great as is. I would have this for dinner with a nice salad. They would also be so nice for brunch if you're having a brunch party, just put a bunch of these out. So I know they're done because basically when I touch them, when they're in the oven, they bounce back and they don't feel like there's any kind of runny parts left. And then, yeah, cut them open and they're nice and cooked all the way through. So it's probably hot, but I'm gonna risk it anyway. Two of those with a nice salad, perfect dinner. And it's pretty good for you too. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next week. So good. That's it. That's a wrap.